The security guard's hand shot out, palm flat against John Cena's chest. "I don't care who you think you are, you're not getting in without proper credentials." It was Monday Night Raw in Detroit, 2019. The 16-time world champion stood in the employee entrance alley, drenched from rain, staring at the young guard who couldn't have been more than 22. Behind Cena, fans pulled out phones, recording everything. The guard's partner stepped forward. "Sir, we have strict orders. No credentials, no entry." Cena reached for his wallet, but it wasn't there. His phone, his ID. Everything was in his bag inside the arena with his assistant. He was stuck outside his own workplace, being treated like a fan trying to sneak backstage. Cena had arrived 3 hours early. His flight from LA landed ahead of schedule, so he headed straight to Little Caesars Arena. He'd done this hundreds of times over 17 years. Walk through the employee entrance, nod at security, head to his locker room. Simple. Except today everything went wrong. His assistant Marcus took Cena's gear bag ahead, while Cena stopped for autographs. "I'll meet you there in 20 minutes, Cena told him. But the Uber took wrong turns, and by the time Cena arrived, he was soaked and separated from his credentials. The two security guards had started their shift 30 minutes earlier, their first Raw event. They'd been given strict instructions. Nobody enters without proper identification. Drop a comment below telling me what city you're watching this from. "Look," Cena said calmly, "I understand you're doing your job, but I'm John Cena. I'm literally on the poster for tonight's show." He pointed to the massive banner above the main entrance. His face was right there, 10 feet tall, promoting his match against Baron Corbin. The young guard didn't glance at the poster. "Sir, we get people trying this all the time. Last week, someone claimed to be Triple H's cousin." The older guard nodded. "You wouldn't believe the stories we hear." Cena pulled out his phone to call Marcus, but the screen was black. Dead battery. Behind him, the crowd was growing. Someone shouted, "That's really John Cena!" The young guard remained unmoved. "Ma'am, step back, please." He turned to Cena. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave or I'll call the police." The words hung in the air. John Cena, one of WWE's biggest names, was being threatened with arrest for trying to enter his own show. Cena took a breath, trying differently. "Can you at least call someone inside? Call production, call talent relations." The older guard pulled out her radio, but the young guard stopped her. "Don't. This is obviously a scam. Look at him, he's not even in shape." He gestured at Cena's rain-soaked hoodie. "John Cena is huge. This guy is just some fan who hit the gym a few times." Cena laughed at the absurdity. "Not in shape? I work out 4 hours every day." "Sure you do," the young guard said sarcastically. "And I'm Roman Reigns." The crowd erupted. This was going viral in minutes. Inside, Marcus finally noticed Cena wasn't there. He grabbed Cena's bag and ran toward the employee entrance. A production assistant named Sarah overheard stagehands talking about a viral video. She checked her phone. "Oh my God, that is John Cena." She took off running. Back outside, the older guard keyed her radio. "Post 7, we have a situation. Individual claiming to be talent refusing to leave crowd gathering." A voice crackled back. "Describe the individual." "Male, 6'1", 250, grey hoodie, claims to be John Cena." Long pause. "What does he look like?" The older guard looked at Cena, really looked. His face clearly visible now, the features she'd seen thousands of times. Her face went pale. But the young guard wasn't convinced, and what he did next made everything worse. The young guard stepped closer, chest puffed. "You have 10 seconds to leave or I'm calling the cops." He pulled out his phone, thumb hovering over 911. Cena spread his arms. "Go ahead. This'll be a great story." Marcus burst through the door, Cena's bag in hand, credential badge visible. "John, I'm so sorry." He stopped, taking in the scene. "What's happening?" The young guard turned. "You know this guy? Know him? That's John Cena. The John Cena. He's main eventing tonight." The guard's face changed, color draining, but he tried maintaining control. "Why didn't he have credentials?" "Because I had his bag." Marcus held up the WWE-issued bag with Cena's name embroidered. Sarah arrived, breathing hard. "John, I'm so sorry. We had no idea you were out here." The older guard looked mortified. Mr. CENA, I apologize. We were following protocol. But the young guard interrupted, pride wounded. He still should have had proper identification. Rules are rules, a voice boomed from the doorway. What the hell is going on? Triple H stood there in his suit, looking furious. He took in everything. CENA soaking wet, security blocking him, fans recording. Paul, CENA said calmly, these professionals were just doing their job. No harm done. But Triple H's expression said otherwise. Triple H walked straight to the young guard. What's your name? Brandon, sir. I was following proto. Do you know who this is? Triple H pointed at CENA. Brandon's confidence crumbled. He claims to be John Cena, but this is John Cena, 16-time world champion, the face of this company for 15 years, the man on every poster for tonight's show, main eventing in 3 hours. Triple H's voice rose. The older guard stepped forward. Mr. Helmsley, I take full responsibility. Yeah, you should have. Triple H turned to Sarah. Get me their supervisor. He looked at the recording fans. And someone from PR. But CENA put his hand on Triple H's shoulder. Paul, it's fine. Fine? John, you've been standing in the rain for 20 minutes. This is embarrassing. CENA turned to the fans. Hey, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. Those security guards were doing their job. They didn't recognize me without credentials, and that's on me. A kid in front raised his hand. But Mr. CENA, he was rude to you. CENA smiled. Yeah, he was. In a few years, he'll tell this story at parties about almost arresting John Cena. Everyone will laugh, including me. What CENA said next surprised everyone. This is a perfect teaching moment, CENA told the crowd. These guards are young. It's their first big event. They're nervous. They were given black and white instructions. No credentials, no entry. They followed those instructions. He paused. The real problem isn't them. It's a system that doesn't account for unusual circumstances. That's what needs to change, not these two people. A fan called out, You're really not mad? CENA laughed. I'm soaked, cold. My phone's dead. I'm annoyed. But mad at them? Nah, they didn't create this. A series of mistakes did. The supervisor arrived, mortified. Mr. CENA, I'm so sorry. Those guards will be disciplined. No, CENA said firmly. They won't. They were following your protocols. Just fix the system. Triple H nodded. He's right. Better training, better protocols. Marcus spoke up. John, you have 2 hours before showtime. CENA walked back to Brandon and the older guard. He extended his hand. No hard feelings. You were doing your job. The older guard shook immediately. Brandon hesitated. I should have listened when people said it was you. Maybe, CENA agreed. But you stuck to your training. Just remember, protocols are important, but common sense is more important. He grinned. Also might want to look at the posters before your shift. Brandon smiled slightly and shook CENA's hand. I'm sorry, Mr. CENA. First big event. Wanted to do everything perfectly. You learned something valuable. Perfection isn't rigidly following rules. It's knowing when to adapt. The crowd applauded. By the time CENA reached his locker room, the story had exploded. CENAgate was trending. But instead of outrage at security, people praised CENA's class. Videos had millions of views. TMZ, ESPN, CNN covered it. Marcus handed CENA a towel. Vince is going to want to turn this into an angle. CENA laughed. Of course he is. There was a knock. Brandon appeared nervous. Mr. CENA? Thank you for not getting me fired. CENA waved him in. You'll have a rough few days online, but in a week nobody remembers your name, just the story. That's what worries me, Brandon admitted, being defined by this. Or you're the guy who learned about balancing rules with judgment and was gracious admitting he was wrong. That's a great story. Triple H appeared. John, Vince wants us. Now? As Brandon left, Triple H asked, You know he'll tell this story for years. Let him. It's pretty funny when you think about it. They headed to Vince's office. What do you think he wants? Either to yell at everyone or figure out how to make money. Probably both. Vince McMahon sat watching the videos on 3 monitors. He looked energized. Gentlemen, we have a disaster and an opportunity. CENA sat. You want to turn this into an angle. Not just an angle, a whole storyline. Vince spun his monitor. CENA had 2 million tweets. ESPN, CNN, Good Morning America. We can't buy this publicity. What are you thinking? Triple H asked. Baron Corbin's your opponent tonight. Vince looked at CENA. What if Corbin orchestrated this? Paid off security to keep you out, embarrass you? CENA considered it. Turns my real embarrassment into a worked storyline. Gives Corbin heel heat. Exactly, Vince paced. We address it tonight. You tell the story, twist it. Corbin reveals he was behind it. Triple H nodded. Meta storytelling, reality blended with kayfabe. But we need to be clear, those guards weren't part of it, CENA said. I don't want them getting heat. Vince waved his hand. We'll make it clear Corbin hired fake security. Real ones were just doing their job. And compensate them, CENA added. Especially Brandon. Kid's about to become a meme. Done, Vince agreed. This is your story, John. For an hour they crafted the response. CENA would address it on Raw, telling the true story but adding the Corbin angle. Baron would interrupt, claiming credit as psychological warfare. They'd have their match, the rivalry continuing. WWE's PR would release a statement praising security while announcing new training. Both guards would be quietly compensated and reassigned at their request. Brandon would later reveal WWE offered to pay his college tuition. He'd decline, not wanting charity for doing his job wrong. That response earned him more respect online. As the meeting ended, Vince asked, "Were you really not angry?" CENA shrugged. Angry in the moment? Sure. But then I realized how absurd it was. I've main evented WrestleMania, met presidents, and I couldn't get into my own show because I forgot my wallet. He laughed. That's comedy, not tragedy. Vince nodded. That's why you're the face of this company. Most talent would have thrown a fit. You turned it into a teaching moment and free publicity. Plus great story for talk shows, CENA grinned. Always working, Triple H laughed. Hustle, loyalty, respect. Though maybe add, remember your credentials to that list. That night's Raw opened with CENA walking to the ring to thunderous ovation. The crowd chanted, "Let him in." Funny story, CENA said. 2 hours ago, I couldn't get into this building. The crowd erupted. I stood outside arguing with security while fans recorded, and I don't blame security. They were doing their job. I was the idiot without credentials. He paused. But what I didn't know was someone had given security specific instructions to make my life difficult. Baron Corbin's music hit. He walked out smirking. You figured it out, John? Corbin entered the ring. I knew your assistant had your bag. All I had to do was make sure security had zero flexibility. The crowd booed. Perfect heel work. You waltz into WWE like you own the place, like rules don't apply. I wanted to remind you that you're not special. CENA stepped closer. You're right about one thing. Without credentials, I'm just another person, and those guards treating me like that actually refreshing. The crowd cheered. Because in this ring, credentials don't matter. What matters is what you can do when the bell rings. Tonight I'll show you exactly what I can do. They brawled, security separated them. The match was made official. Backstage, Brandon and Patricia watched. He made it work, Brandon said, amazed. Took the worst thing and turned it into entertainment. Patricia nodded. That's the difference between good and great talent. Later, CENA defeated Corbin. As he celebrated, he glanced toward the entrance, gave a subtle nod to the security team. After the show, leaving through that same entrance with credentials, Brandon was on duty. Good show tonight, Mr. CENA. CENA stopped. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for being cool about everything. I learned from the best. Before his Good Morning America interview, CENA tweeted, To WWE security, thank you for keeping our shows safe, even from forgetful superstars. You were just doing your job, and you did it well. Also, I'm never forgetting my wallet again. CENA-gate. Lesson learned. 4 million likes in an hour. Today, 5 years later, CENA-gate remains one of WWE's most discussed moments. Not for in-ring action, but because it was real and revealed something authentic. Brandon left security, went to college studying sports management. His admission essay was titled, The Day I Didn't Recognize John Cena, and What It Taught Me About Leadership. He graduated with honors, now works in event management training security teams. He tells the story not as cautionary tale about recognizing celebrities, but about balancing protocol with judgment and learning from mistakes. Patricia retired 6 months later as planned. She keeps a framed photo from that night, her, Brandon, and John Cena all smiling despite the chaos. Cena never forgot his credentials again. He also never forgot the lesson. "I was John Cena, the WWE superstar inside that arena," he said on a podcast. "But outside, without credentials. Just a wet guy arguing with security. That's how it should be. Nobody should get special treatment for being famous." The incident led to significant protocol changes. Security teams now receive comprehensive briefings with photos of all talent. There's a new protocol. If someone claims to be talent but lacks credentials, call talent relations immediately rather than refuse entry. The Corbin storyline ran 6 more weeks, culminating in a steel cage match Cena won. The real victory was turning potential PR disaster into compelling programming. Vince later credited Cena's handling as a masterclass in crisis management. In 2023, WWE produced a documentary about the incident with 20 million views. It ends with Cena and Brandon meeting up. "Do you really not hate me for that night?" Brandon asks. Cena laughs. "Hate you? You gave me one of my best stories, reminded me to stay humble, showed me the best moments come from worse situations. I should thank you." They hug, laughing together. The comment section filled with people sharing their own work mistakes and recoveries. Cenagate became a cultural touchstone for handling mistakes with grace, treating people with respect regardless of position, and how authenticity resonates deeper than manufactured moments. It all started with a forgotten wallet, a dead phone, and a security guard doing his job on a rainy Detroit night.